Hello, good morning. My name is Keerthi. So last class we had finished the chapter 7, that is the control and coordination in the 10th class. Okay, so today what we are going to do is we are just going to discuss the questions in that chapter. Hmm? Okay, so take out your page number 119 in your textbook. Hmm? What is in that? See the first question. What is the question? What is the difference between a reflex action and walking? So can you just tell me what is the difference between the reflex action and walking? Do you know? So reflex action means these are involuntary actions that occur in response to stimuli. Okay, they are the involuntary actions that occurs in response to the stimuli. Hmm? And they occur without involvement of the conscious areas of the brain. Okay, they occur without the involvement of the conscious areas of the brain. And all the reflex actions are unconscious actions, and reflex action occur brain and the spinal cord, which are the central nervous system of our body. Okay, so on the other hand, voluntary actions means they are occurring under the control of the cerebellum of the brain, like walking. Huh? As we are learning as we are growing that, right? So walking is controlled by the brain. As we whenever we are requiring that, we will use that, right? Hmm? So that is the answer. Now, what is the second question? What happens at the synapse between two neurons? What is happening? Just tell me what is happening between the synapse of two neurons. Hmm? So between the synapse, what is happening? Two neurons, electrical signals are converted into the chemicals. They are converted into the chemicals that can cause easily cross over the gap and pass on the chemical messengers to the next neuron when it is converted back to the electrical signals. Okay, when it is converted back to the electrical signals. Now, third one is which part of the brain maintains the posture and the equilibrium of the body? Which part, tell me, cerebrum or the cerebellum? Yes, very good. It's the cerebellum, which is a part of the brain, which is responsible for the controls, the motor functioning, and hence it is the part regained in the maintenance of the posture and the equilibrium of the body. Okay, so cerebellum is the part. Understand? Now, fourth question. How do we detect the smell of an agarbatti? Have you seen the agarbatti? That is incense stick. Yes. So how do we detect the smell of the incense stick or the agarbatti? The smell of the agarbatti is detected by the nose. It is dictated by the nose, that is the olfactory receptors which is present in the nose. See, the what is the receptors present in the nose? That is the olfactory receptors which is present in the nose. What they will do, they send the electrical signals to the forebrain, okay, to the part of the cerebellum. So what the forebrain will do, forebrain will interpret this signal as the incense stick to be detected as a smell. Okay, so the olfactory signals, they will receptors will send the signals to the forebrain, and from the forebrain it is taking the signals. Understand? Now, what is the fifth question? What is the role of brain in the reflex action? So tell me, what is the role of brain in reflex action? The reflex action, they are formed instantaneously in response to the stimuli that has no time to think. Okay, reflex action means they are forming very fastly or very instantly, right? In response to the stimulus that has no time to think. So for instance, the sensory nerves that dictate the heat are connected to the nerves, which are moved through the muscles of the hand. So such a connection of dictating the signals from the nerves and responding to it very quickly is known as reflex action. Okay, so the connection of detecting the signals from the nerves and responding to it very quickly is known as the reflex action. Okay, it is the reflex action. So reflex action, it is generated in spinal cord and the information also reaches the brain. Okay, it is generated in the spinal cord and the information is also reaching the brain. So this helps the brain to record this event and remember it for the future use. Okay, we are using it for the future use. For example, when we are going to, just think that a newborn baby or like a 1-year-old baby, she don't know what will happen. She or he don't know what will happen if they touch the hot vessel or they are touching the fire, they don't know. So once they touched and burn their hand, it will be automatically memorized in the brain. Okay, it will be automatically memorized in the brain. So as a result of that, what will happen? What will happen? They won't touch it again. For sure, they won't touch it again. Why? Because their memory or their brain had been already recorded that. Okay, so brain helps the person to get awareness of the stimulus and it also prevent himself from the situation again. Okay, understand? Now, what are plant hormones? Plant hormones. Plant hormones means these are the hormones or the organic substances they produce at certain site of the plant. Okay, plant hormone means these are the organic substances. These are the organic substances which produces at certain site of the plants. And these are also translocated to the other parts which is based on the requirement. Okay, so plant hormones means those substances or those organic substances which is produced in the certain site of the plants and these are also translocated to the other parts of the plants as per the requirement. Then plant hormones help to contribute growth, development and response to the environment. Plant hormones, they are helping to coordinate the growth, development and response to the environment. Example like auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, we all discussed that, right? So that is the plant hormones. Now, second question. How is the movement of the leaves as the sensitive plant differ from the movement of the shoot towards light? How they are different? So movement of the leaves of the sensitive plant in one column, then movement of the shoot towards the light in the other column. So in the first column, movement of the leaves of the sensitive plant. It does not depend on the direction of the stimulus applied. It does not depend upon the direction of the stimulus applied. In the case of the movement of the shoot towards the light, what it is showing, it is depending upon the direction of the stimulus applied. Okay, it is depending upon the direction of the stimulus applied. Then movement of the leaves of the sensitive plant, it is called as the nastic movement and movement of the shoot towards the light is called as the tropic movement. Then sensitive plant, movement of the leaves of the sensitive plant is touches the stimulus. Then here movement of the shoot towards the light is a stimulus. Okay, then movement of leaves of the sensitive plant is caused by the sudden loss of water. It is caused by the sudden loss of water from the swelling at the base of the leaves. It is caused by the sudden loss of the water from the swelling of at the base of the leaves. And the other thing is it is caused by the unequal growth on the two sides of the shoots. Okay, it is caused by the unequal growth on the two sides of the shoot. Then the movement of the leaves of the sensitive plant means it is not a growth movement and the other one is a growth movement. Shoot towards light. Okay, then movement of light leaves of the sensitive plant is it occurs very fast. In the other one, it occurs very slowly. Okay. Now, the next question, give an example of the plant hormone that promotes growth. What is an example of the plant hormone that promotes growth? That is, auxins and gibberellins are the hormones which is responsible for the growth of the plants. Auxins and gibberellins, they are the hormones responsible for the growth of the plants. And auxins, they are responsible for the cell elongation in the shoot and they also regulate the growth. Auxins means they are responsible for the cell elongation in the shoot and they also regulate the growth. Gibberellin means it is responsible for the stem elongation and germination. Understand? It is responsible for the stem elongation and the germination. Then, how do auxins promote the growth of the tendril around a support? How do auxins is promoting the growth of the tendril around the support? Tendrils means that circle like this thing. Okay, this one. So auxins are the plant hormones which produces at the tip of the shoot and the root. Okay, auxins means these are the plant hormones which is produced at the tip of a shoot and a root. So auxins are present at the tip of the tendril. When tendrils are attached around any support, their growth is slowed down. Okay, their growth is slowed down as auxins. Their growth is slowed down as auxins, and these are very sensitive to touch also. Understand? So this makes them move to the other side of the tip to get support, and this makes the other side of the growth very faster than the side of the tendril, which is in contact with the support, and the tendril bends towards the support. Understand? Now, design an experiment to demonstrate hydrotrophism. So you want to first plant a seedling in a vessel containing the soil, then adjust to the seedling, put porous pot containing water, then leave the pot set up for a few days. So what will happen? We will observe on examining the root is observed that the root bends towards the source of water and does not grow straight. Right. So what is the result? It confirms that the plant shows hydrotrophism has the root towards or the root bend towards the porous of the plants, porous part of the plant. So as a hydrotrophism is a plant growth response in which the direction of the growth is determined by the stimulus of gradient in water concentration. Okay, understand. Now, take page number 125. In page number 125, the first question is, how does chemical coordination take place in animals? How does it is taking place in animals? Does anyone know? Just a minute. Yeah. So how does chemical coordination take place in animals? Chemical coordination takes place in animals with the help of the chemical messengers, which is called as the hormones. Okay, it is called as the hormones. So hormones are the chemical fluids. They are the chemical fluids that are secreted by the specific gland of an endocrine gland. Okay, hormones, these are the chemical fluids that are secreted by specific glands of the endocrine gland. So hormones regulate the growth, development, and hemostasis of the animals. Okay. Then, why is the use of the iodized salt advised? Next question. The use of the iodized salt is advised to avoid the deficiency of the iodine. In order to advisable to avoid the deficiency of iodine. So, if the intake of the iodine is low, the release of thyroxine from the thyroid gland will be decreased. Okay, the release of the thyroxine from the thyroid gland will be decreased, and this affects fat, carbohydrates, and protein metabolism. So thus a person may have goiter problem in case if the intake of the iodine is lower. Okay. Now, next question. How does our body respond when adrenaline is secreted into the blood? So adrenaline means it is a hormone secreted when a person is frightened or mentally disturbed, right? It is a hormone which is secreted when a person is frightened, scared, or mentally disturbed. So when adrenaline reaches heartbeat will also increase the blood supply to our muscles. Okay, so adrenaline also increases the breathing rate because of the contraction of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. Okay, so adrenal rush also increases the blood pressure and allows the entry of more glucose into the blood. And these all together occurs when our body responds to the secretion of the adrenal into our blood. Okay. Next question, why are some patients of the diabetes treated by giving injection of insulin? So diabetes means it is a condition when insulin hormone is produced less or stopped by the pancreatic cells of a person. Okay, by the pancreatic cells of a person. So insulin regulates the blood glucose by converting the extra glucose to glycogen. So when insulin is not produced, insulin is not produced, adequately person's blood glucose level will increase, or they can lead to very adverse effect. So in order to maintain the insulin and the blood glucose level, diabetic patients are treated with injections of the insulin. Okay, they are treated with injections of the insulin. Understand? Now, Take page number 126. That is, which of the following is a plant hormone? Is insulin is a plant hormone or a human hormone? Yes, it is a human hormone. Thyroxine, is it? No. Estrogen, is it? No. Cytokinin, yes, it is a plant hormone, whereas the rest of three are produced by the animals or the human beings. Okay, now tell me the second question. The gap between the two neurons is called as, is that dendrite? No. Axon? No. Synapse? Yes, synapse, right? So dendrite means it is a short branched extension of a nerve cell along with the impulse, received from the another cell at the synapse, which are transmitted to the cell body. Okay, so it is the synapse which is the gap between two neurons. Okay, now third question. The brain is responsible for thinking, regulating the heartbeat, balancing the body, or all the above. Is the brain responsible for thinking? Yes. Regulating the heartbeat? Yes, of course. Balancing the body? Yes, 100% sure. So all of the above is the correct answer. Why? Because it is controlling everything. Because it is a CNS, central nervous system. Okay. Now, fourth question, what is the function of receptors in our body? Hmm? Think of the situation where receptors do not work properly. So, what problems are likely to arise? Huh? So, um, what is the next question? What is the function of receptors in our body, right? Think of the situations where the receptors do not work properly and what problems are likely to arise. Hmm? The receptors means these are present throughout our body, mainly the sense organs. Okay, receptors means these are present throughout the body, which are mainly the sense organs. So the receptors collect the information about changes that happen around us. Okay, it is the information about the changes that happen around us and send the signals to the information to the brain, which render effectors, effector mechanism against the change. Okay, so what happens when receptors do not work properly? The environmental stimuli are not able to create the nerve impulses. And what happens? Body won't be able to respond to the stimuli. Okay. Hmm? Now, fifth question is draw a structure of the neuron. You all might be knowing how to draw the structure of a neuron and explain its functions. So, neuron or the neurons are the nerve cells which are functioning the functional unit of the nervous system, and it is having mainly three main parts are there. They are the dendrites, axons, and the cell body. Okay, dendrites, axons, and the cell body. Dendrites means they dictate the information and send it to the cell body. They dictates the information and send it to the cell body. Cell body, what it will do? They maintain the growth of the cell. They are maintaining the growth of the cell. And the axons, what they are doing? They conduct the message away from the cell body and signal to the next neuron. Okay, they conduct messages away from the cell body and signals to the next neuron. Okay, now how does phototrophism occurs in the plants? How does phototrophism occurring? So direct movement, directional movement and the growth of the plant in response to the light is called the phototrophism. Okay, directional movement and the growth of the plant in response to the light is called as the phototrophism. So phototrophism occurs due to the increased oxygens on the dark side. Okay, this occurring due to the increased oxygen on the dark side and decreased oxygen on the illuminating side. So because of the presence of more oxygens left in the darker side will grow faster, which is causing it to bend towards the source of light. Okay, it will cause the movement of the light towards them. Okay, they will just move towards the source of light. Understand? Now, seventh question. Which signal will get disrupted in the case of spinal cord injury? So tell me what will happen if spinal cord is damaged. Hmm? So in case of the spinal cord injury, signals coming from the nerves as well as the signals coming to the receptors will be disrupted. Okay, both the signals which is coming from the nerves as well as from the receptors will get disrupted. So both these signals will meet in a bundle of the spinal cord. Hmm? So hence the spinal signals will get disrupted. Understand? Hmm? Then, how does chemical coordination occur in plants? How it is occurring in plants, chemical coordination? So plant growth, development, response, these are the environment is controlled. All this environment is controlled and coordinated by the special class of chemical substances which is called as the hormones. Okay, they are called as the hormones. So hormones, these are produced in one part of the plant and they are also transported to all the needy parts. Okay, they are also transported to all the needy parts of the plant. So the five major types of the phytohormones are like auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, ethylene and all. So these phytohormones are either growth promoters like auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins and ethylene, or growth inhibitors like abscisic acid. Okay. Now, next question. What is the need of the system of control and coordination in an organism? Tell me what is the need of this thing, control and coordination in an organism. So there are various organs in the organism. Like the organs must be carefully controlled and coordinated for the survival of the organism. In the body of an organism, various fluids are secreted from the glands of the endocrine system. And these hormones are responsible for the overall growth and development of an organism. It is responsible for the overall growth and development of an organism. So all the other daily decisions that include the involuntary and voluntary actions, these are controlled by the CNS. Okay, so coordination is needed for all the human activities we perform. So our nervous system receive information from the surrounding which is preceded and response is initiated. Okay, so the endocrine system helps in the integrated various metabolic activities like reproduction, development, and all other reflex actions. The hormone system in the plants help in the process of photosynthesis. They need like carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. So the stomatal opening in the leaves open up onto allow all the carbon dioxide gas, and the root bend towards the water, and the stem grows towards the sunlight, and the tendril will climb up the plants. Okay, so thus we need to understand how the control and coordination system in an organism. Okay, then three more questions are there. How are involuntary actions and reflex actions differ from each other? How reflex action means they are rapidly automatic response to the stimulus without the conscious involvement of the brain. But in the case of involuntary, they are occurring without the consciousness of an organism. Then reflex action means they are controlled by the spinal cord. Here involuntary, they are controlled by the midbrain or the medulla oblongata. Then reflex action, they are very quick and instantaneous. Here the other one is relatively slower. Okay. Then reflex action, they may involve any muscles or a gland. In the case of involuntary, it involves only by the smooth muscles. Then in the case of reflex action, it can be conditioned, and the other thing, it cannot be influenced by the external conditions. Okay. For the example of the reflex action, they are blinking of the eyes, salivation, or heartbeat, everything. Sorry, not heartbeat. Heartbeat is an involuntary action, eating or thinking like that and all. Then in the case of involuntary, it is beating of the heart, blood circulation, taking of the breath, everything. Okay. Now, next question, compare and contrast nervous and hormonal mechanism for control and coordination in animals. Nervous control means it consists of the nerve impulses between the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system and the brain. And here response time is also very short, and the nerve impulses are not specific in their action, and the flow of information is really rapid. Okay. And in the case of the hormonal control, it consists of the endocrine system, which secrete the hormones directly into the blood. And also, response time is really too long, and each hormone has specific actions, and the flow of the information is also very slow. Okay. Now, the last question is, what is the difference between the manner in which movement takes place in a sensitive plant and movement in our legs? Hmm? So, movement in sensitive plant means the movement in the sensitive plant is a response to the stimulus. It is a response to the stimulus, which is an involuntary action. And also, there is no specific tissue is there for the transfer of the information. And plant cells do not have specialized protein for their movements. Okay. And the other one, that is movement in our legs, means it is a voluntary action and it is a complete system by the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, and therefore for the information exchange. And animal cells have specialized protein which help in the muscles to contract. Okay, so that is all with this chapter. Thank you. I think you have been very clear with this chapter and the question answers. If you have any doubt, you can just uh, comment in the box. Then thank you for your session. In the next class, we can see with the next chapter. Thank you.